Hi guys, yeah, Jason here from Math School. I'll be doing analysis for 5 pairs for the coming week, which is running from 18th to 22nd. And how would the analysis that I'm going to share with you guys is 5 pair: pound dollar, euro dollar, Aussie yen, euro yen, and Aussie USD. So I'll go in one by one and I'll try to keep it short. So what's going on in the market? Let's see what happened here first before we can analyze potentially what will happen here. We can see price actually range here first now. Yeah, when it range, it kind of like create a lower high, and eventually it broke. Correct. So after it broke, personally, I use market structure. So when it comes to market structure, usually this type of breaking, I would actually expected or would like to see some sort of rejection inside this whole area, from a breakout area from my support here and my resistance here. Anywhere inside here, I would love to see a form of rejection. Unfortunately, when the price comes back here, it kind of like got stop out here. It doesn't create any rejection that I wanted. Meaning, when I see rejection, I want to see a rejection that is current, not a previous one. I won't go for previous area, which is like an engulfing here, and try to do an entry here. I want to do an action here, a rejection that is current. Unfortunately, the price keep on climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing, and where does it reject? It start to reject here. But when it reject here that time in the current time frame of H4, there's no indication of any action that I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is only two types. First one, I look for a pin bar. That's the first thing that I look for, which is like that. Okay, just draw nicely. Yeah, it's a pin bar. Okay, the second one that I actually look for, it's actually a form of engulfing. Could be any form of engulfing as long as it's an engulfing body. So yep, I have my hairline here and I have my hairline here lah. Okay, you guys pandai-pandai lah. This is an engulfing. Okay, so unfortunately there's nothing of all this formation there that form. If we go nearer, zero ma. There's no rejection, there is no engulfing that I wanted. So I did not take any entry here. Actually, when it falls, then it goes back up again. I did not take any entry here again. It's because there's no formation. And moreover, when the price starts to move all the way up here, first try to come back down again. Second try. See, there's a saying, if the price been knocking on the door, or knocking, yeah, I call it the resistance, the door, for 3 times or 2 times or 3 times, the more it knock, it also shows one thing, it shows that there's a potential that it might break. That's why I didn't take. The whole idea is, okay, the first one that it knock maybe uses a toy hammer. The second time it knock, it maybe use a bigger hammer like an iron hammer or a factory hammer. The third time it knock, it potentially will fall under the category of a sledgehammer already. The more times it knock an area, the more potential that the price might break out from this area. So this is something that I noticed for many times already. I mean, just give you an example. Price knock one time, see here. Okay, price knock 2 times, price knock 3 times, and eventually price break. See this? This is what I talk about. Alright, so I do not take any entry when it's too near to my support and resistance. It's, for me, the edge is not there lah. So how would I take an entry? My entry style would be, if the price break up far away, not under a false break, and it goes back down, create certain action over here, let it flow back up again. That's what I do personally. So let's go back to the current analysis, what's going on. Personally, I saw that it didn't reject anywhere near here. It start to reject over here, but it didn't go very far. Second time it reject, also didn't go very far. So what's going on here on a H4 time frame? It's price reject rather than the sledgehammer, meaning the third time not a charm, but eventually it pushes the price down and it broke my smaller time frame support. So what I wanted to do on the smaller time frame, since I do not want to sell this pair due to the idea of the price is still going up tremendously. So I would like to see some weakness in the price or weakness in this pair for me to buy up. So how do I look for a potential area, not an entry, but a potential area for me to wait for a rejection for me to enter? But there's no 100% towards this. It's just probability at the end of the day only. Win-lose is part of the game. So we might lose some, we might win some, but when we win, usually my technique, it's when I holding profit, I let it run further or more pips compared with my SL. So for example, current situation on Monday opening, I would love to see what's going on here. I didn't take this entry now. It's actually a very good area for me to go in. But because when this was formed, it's almost up to the closing market AD. When market's about to close, I usually do not like to open any position for me to go in through the weekend. Unless I hold somewhere over here that I open AD and been holding it for weeks or for days AD, then okay, I will hold it through the weekend. But if I were to open a position during the end of the closing or very near to the market closing AD, I have a rules. I don't do it. So I would rather wait for Monday what's going on. So potentially for now, what's going on now, we can see very well that market is rejecting over here for GU. So if Monday open and there's no gap, not too sure whether that's gap or not, because today is Saturday and Sunday, if there's a lot of sentiments or news come up on policies or whichever they want to talk about, meaning if suddenly there'll be extra new strain of COVID or vaccine ran out or some issues that might go and affect that pair, then we only will see gaps. If not, usually no gap, I would say. For now, fundamentally, nothing yet. Saturday only. So need to wait for tomorrow. If there's something ongoing, some big news come in, then perhaps it might have a gap. But gap is another issue. It's not our story here. Story that I want to tell you guys is over here, price potentially now might reject. So as long as the price doesn't close below this area of my support and my final support here, this is my key support and this is my smaller time frame support, I would love to see it actually start floating back up here if it happens. So SL is very important when it comes to this particular way of entry. So what I can do is, there's a rejection over here already. There's a retracement on the rejection. If the Monday open is good enough, my first try, I would actually put about 25 pips to 30 pips. Best if I can put it right below here. But here is good enough, half of it. Okay, 25. Usually I'll go for 3R, which is about 75, or to the nearest resistance. That's about 100 pips of them. So in terms of ratio, we are talking about nearly to 4, 1 to 4. Is it a good edge? If this setup works, I make 4-fold of the amount that I supposed to make. I risk 1 and I make 4. If I lost, then this is how much I lost. 1-fold, depending how much stake that we want to put in on 25 pips only. It could be $100, it could be $200, it could be $500, it could be $10, it could be $1. So if I were to stake $1 here or $10 here, I'll be making $40 back. So this is the system that I use. If this area failed, now I talk about fail. the price will come down. If there's any rejection or any form of action over here, meaning a form of rejection happens here, then I would perhaps consider a buy again. And if this fails as well, then my third try would be coming over here, and I would wait for a certain form of rejection over here again and place my SL right below here and wait for a price to float back up again. And when do I stop buying? This is the key question. Okay, this is my final area. So if the price fail again, this is what I do. If the price decided to close below here, then I would stop buying already and I would look for a sell. The reason behind it is because market structure broke my key support, expecting the price to go back in here or anywhere between here for me to do a sell down. So things change. This is where my buy turned into a sell. So why I would love to have a lot of R's back? The reason I would love to have a lot of R's back is this. Personally, I only can try. There's no way to be 100% sure that it will work. So if one are gone, if this fail, one are gone. If this fail, two are gone. If this fail, three are gone. If this fail, four are gone. Okay, if four are gone, meaning totally KO, I would lose 4R consecutive. Straight 4R to and yeah, it doesn't burn my account. It doesn't go as MC. It work with the proper money management. It won't MC your account. But anywhere around here, if it goes back up here and create a certain action over here, because things haven't happened yet, can't really draw, but this is my expectation or my forecast of how things work. And when it comes back here, do a sell. So we got 4 try. If you want to have less try, depending where it create the rejection, there's no way for me to know where the price wants to reject. There's no 100% towards this thing, because when it want to reject, how it want to reject, no one will knows. Not if the fella say that, oh, you going to reject at this area, it's just pure luck only, I will tell you. Because price want to reject, it reject. Price want to reject, it want to reject. But it's a certain area of interest that personally I look for it to do a rejection only. This is the areas that I'm interested to see some rejection to happen. It's not saying that the price comes back down here already, oh, I buy. No, it doesn't work that way. I only buy when there's a rejection. Then I have a invalidation area. Once the price break here already, okay, you got to go further, not like that. You got to go slightly further and let the price go back up like that. The reason why I want to go further, because I don't want it to create a forced break over here and close back up and float back up again. So I want something go further one. That's the reason why. Okay, so this is pound dollar analysis. Like I mentioned, first try, second try, you want to skip this, can, it's up to you. You want to go into here. How I get this area is because there's a technique that I uses to flip from H4 to H1 for me to do an entry, and this is the an area that I'm interested to look for some rejection. That's the thing only. All right, okay, let's go to Euro USD. So what's going on with Euro USD? Same, we can see a structural of formation of trend. Yeah, a higher high, low, a higher low, and a higher high form. And that doesn't mean that this area being broken that it will go down or go up. It's based on rejection. So there's a force over here that I think I took an entry here at that time. So why I take an entry here that time, it's because price been gradually going up, and on the much bigger time frame, If we look, price been coming from the bottom, going up, break, created a resistance, created a support, and the price come back down in again into my area that I'm interested. It's actually there's one over here, but let's not talk about this. Over already, I talk about this only. Okay, we can talk about this if you want. Okay. Price we break out. Okay, then I have my resistance form, support form over this area. Hope you guys can follow. What happened is price comes back, break, comes back in again. I would love to see some rejection to go back up. That's the only thing. So if the rejection happens, false break, I too small, I didn't take. This one I consider it a higher high being form. And yep. So what's going on here is I will look for some rejection, and yep, it failed. Over here it did fail. See, there's a engulfing form here and it failed. Like I mentioned, it does fail. If it failed already, where's my invalidation? Here. See, my last area that I want to do is an invalidation, and I would not want to, if on the shorter term, I do not want to buy the market already. I want to sell the market, short the market. But when I short the market, if we have a look at the higher time frame position, which is what's going on currently, it might potentially do a rejection going back up again, but it's still stuck over here. First try die. Can you see engulfing here? Once the engulfing form, the price decided to go back down again, and yeah, this is very much due to the weakness of euro, because of Germany. If I'm not mistaken, they are having a shuffle of power. Merkel, it's they are talking about post Merkel, Angela Merkel era now. So let's continue back here. So what I would like to see is perhaps a certain rejection over here. If there's no rejection over here formed, currently there's nothing here, I would love to see some rejection being formed in this area for me to do an buy entry on it. So where do I stop buying? I would actually stop buying if it break here. Why? The reason behind it is because if it break my key area of support, price goes down, price comes back up, sell it at this area. It's the same. It's been repeating this particular pattern many times, but not all of them works, what I can say on it. But if it repeat 100 times, the edge is there. There's more winning than losses in a bunch of it. It's never about, when it comes to trading, it's all about probability. It's never about this particular setup. It's the long run thing. When we make some good pips, we hold the pips. If it got a cut, we cut it. That's why we set properly the SL and the TP, fix it dead. Alright, so this is the two situation that might happen only. So either it goes back up here like that on a certain rejection. When I say rejection, I mean rejection. It could be some price action thing, it could be some pin bar, it could be some engulfing. Personally, I only wait for engulfing and pin bar. If you want to use morning star or evening star, it's up to you guys. No right or wrong here. As long as it shows rejection, we can go in it. Right? Okay, for Aussie yen, this is something that I would love to see on Monday opening. But bear in mind, Monday opening in US, it's a holiday. Martin Luther King birthday, or some holidays in US. So liquidity on US session might be thin. But the rest of the country is still open, and especially Australia and yen, it's none related back to dollar yet on the session. What I would, this is a very good entry already, I would say. Okay, yeah, I took an entry there actually. It works. So what's going on is here on Monday open, I would actually long the position already. The reason why I would love to long the position and put it right below here, about 35 pips versus let it do a breakout. Okay, those that once it reach here, Let me put 1 to 3 minimum first. 1 to 4, 1 to 3, it's up to you guys. Let's put 1 to 3. All right. Once you reach here, you can pull your R, pull this further to 1R, 2R. It's up to you. You can keep on going on. The reason why I would love to do an entry here is it's very clear that the price been going uptrend, up and up and up. Creation of a higher low, higher low, higher low, higher high, higher high, higher high, and got jam up here. It doesn't mean that it got jam up here, it won't go through. I want, because overall the whole trend is still a valid uptrend. So what I want to do is continue it only, unless the price starts to fall all the way further and further and further, then the creation of a downtrend starts, then okay, either it goes sideways first or it go downtrend immediately. No one will know the market structure change. Then I would personally follow that market structure. But for now, the market structure is still an uptrend. And best thing is, it created a very nice pin for me to take already. Can you see that there's a support over here? A pin rejection back into the support, come back down again, and potential, it will give me the R's that I wanted. If it fail, then yep. If it fail, there's a second area that I would wait for an entry, not to sell it. I won't short the market yet. So let's put a bit. If the market comes back here and do a buy, see, it could be anywhere around here. You could reject here. Like I say, we do not know where it want to reject one. It looks like it still, I mean, in term of chart, still uptrend, but in term of structure rejection, it happens now. It's currently rejecting already. So potentially, and yep, this was from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock morning. This formed by 2 to 6. This is 2 to 6. This is 10 to 2. So 10 o'clock close at 2 o'clock to form this bar very late already, and market about to close. So I didn't take it. I wait for Monday. That's the only thing. So if this fail, my second area that I want to wait for is here. See, where's my invalidation? It's why I do this is because, can you see a market structure? All right, when I talk about market structure, it looks like that. So why I do that is, this is my resistance, is my support, and guess what? I won't be buying on breakout. I won't be selling this. I would wait for the price to come back in here, create a certain rejection, let it flow back up again. Because we will never know where the price want to break. Reject. Could be rejecting here, rejecting here, rejecting here, rejecting here, rejecting here, rejecting here. I'm waiting for rejection only. It reject here on the final area, good, I'll still take it. But if it doesn't reject and it continue to flow down all the way, then this market cycle is known as a reverse, potentially reversing it. It could be reversed. If it start to reject over here, for example, the price comes in all the way here, then I will look at what's going on here for me to take, if I would still consider it as an uptrend or not. If it's still considered as an uptrend, I will still take. If it's not, then I'll just stop and see what's going on further. So I only have an interest area of here to here, meaning my area would actually fall here to here. My interest area of taking an entry with rejection. Not to say that price goes in, I immediately do a buy. No, I would wait for rejection over here for me to buy up. Since this is H4, plenty of time to wait. Doesn't matter. Alright, this is the structure that very similar to this now. So what I say, it's very similar because price comes back down here. This is the whole area that we are waiting for, and price have rejected here. Yeah, potential that it might goes back up again. That's, and see whether it break or not. If it break, then yeah, good for me. I'll just follow up the breakout and take the TP based on the amount that the R's that I wanted, the reward. So price have been rejected. Like I say, a pin bar form. or an engulfing form, a pin bar form maybe. Monday, good timing for me to take off. Alright, okay. For Euro Yen, also this is a very tricky pair for the past crazy. Wow, that's a crazy ride lah. Price been consolidating for 25 days, trading days. I mean, for almost a month plus. Did some small little breakout, come back in again, and yep, this is what I talk about. Price consolidate, do a breakout, go back in. Like I say, see, did a breakout, comes back in, try to find a rejection area, and eventually you go all the way to bottom and then reject, goes back up again. Same, broke out again. Actually, what you can do is you can draw another line here as a latest resistance, come back in again, same area again, try to find some rejection. So can you see a pin here? Let's show you. Can you see a pin here? Nice pin. This is the pin I'm talking about. So if the pin being formed here already, a push bar, push, price goes up. Of course, you can go into smaller time frame to catch all these areas. Or see, when the price broke, come back in, created a pin here, goes back up again. See how many R's we get if we were to do an entry here and put our SL around, maybe just right below the pin 25. Yeah, for safe player, if you want to put 30, just right below the support also can. So how many R it actually gave us? 3.5, 3.3. I fix my ratio personally. I fix my ratio 1 to 3, and I let it run again. So get one here, same structure, goes back up again, here again. See, this is what we call about structure, market structure, how we trade with market structure. All we need to do is just wait only. And put it right below here, 25, round it up, 30, up to you guys. I want a 90 back. Yeah, done. Got my 3R. See? So the rest, if it goes up, good for me, good for the market. I'm out from market already. So let's talk about the analysis coming week. So what's going on now here is, can you see a breakout? I do not sell on breakout, just to let you guys know. So what happened is price eventually goes all the way down here. I would love to see come back up here and sell it. See, I wouldn't want to find any rejection here. The reason behind it, I don't want to find any rejection here for me to sell a shorter term, to buy a shorter term correction. See, this is impulse, this correction is impulse that we are looking for. Same as this, this impulse is correction, this impulse is correction, impulse. So I wouldn't want to buy on any rejection here. It's due to the market. It's a selling trend. If it's a selling trend so powerfully down and called downtrend, and eventually managed to break a certain area of a key. This is a key support that been standing. Why we call it a key? It's been there, the final area, no longer have any more area. So if you want to call the key, for now this is a key, this happened, this is a key, this happened, this is a key, this happened, this is a key. The final ground of a support or resistance is called key resistance and the key support. So why I would want to buy this, even though there's a rejection, is because I will not know where it will move towards it. Going against trend by following the correction, the amount of R's proven by, been trading for many years and been proven that if any counter trend, the R that I wanted, which is 3R, cannot reach one. They only give me 1 to 1, 1 to 2, maximum also 1 to 2, sometimes not even 2, then it just reverse and falls back down again. So I do not catch all this because I want the R. I'm not scalping the market. If you are scalping the market, go ahead and pick it up. I mean, you just want a short term, you want intraday, yeah, just a short term trade only. But very much depending what form here as well. So if price doesn't reject anywhere around here and start going back up here again, it's still a sell, because the reason behind it is, let me delete this off, it's easier to see why I never use a longer Let's, it will create a lot of noise for me. Okay, here. Alright, this is my current one. Because I still have my key over here, remember, like I say. So as long as the price goes all the way here and start to find some rejection over here, anywhere, yeah, it's a good area to sell. Because some people would love to use the FIBO 50 to 61 area to sell down, halfway towards this area. Could be, if we were to use a FIBO, most probably it will be waiting around this area. If you guys want to use FIBO, but for me, I just want to see where the price reject only. We will never know it will reject here, here, or here. No way to know one, impossible. Alright, okay, this is for EJ. Still waiting. Okay, then Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar very similar structure with Aussie yen. Form as well, lady. Okay, a rejection bar over here, and yeah, I would actually same wait for do an entry immediately on Monday. Oh, okay, go. All right, that's my daughter. Okay, so what I will do on Monday itself is just do an immediate entry and put my, why I do an entry form already ma. Yeah, a rejection already. Nice rejection, a nice pin, especially on the H4 some more. Not necessarily it will go, not necessarily it will actually make it, just an edge of analysis how we do it. I mean how personally I analyze the chart on it. Same thing, if we have a look at what's going on, market structure happens, price tends to do something what we call consolidation now, potential to consolidate back here. There's no breakout, there's no new high form, there's no new low form, and price tends to range around a range of 130 pips to 150 pips, which potentially the amount of pips that I want is within it. So if I want 100 pips or even 3R for example, okay, then I put about 30 and go for 3R, that's about, so we are looking about 90 to 90 pips and 30 pips difference. So if kaput, this structure fail, okay, if this structure fail, I lost 30 pips depending on how much I stake there. If this structure make it, I make threefold the amount that money that I invested in. See, if we were to focus on the idea of ratio and plus a higher possibility or probability or edge type of market analysis like that, in long run, at least our account would gradually grow. Where we might face some strict losses. See, if I go back to EU, sorry, GU just now, see, there's so many chances that we might fail. If it reject here, fail, reject here, fail, reject here, fail. So if it make it here, and boom, 3R, 4R, 5R comes back, and focus on that. I lost 3 times straight. I managed the 4th time, make it, I break even, no win, no lose. You get what I mean? So if the next one goes again and the next one made it, then I gain the 3R. Then the next one fail, then I still have 2R in my hand. Then if the following one make it, then we plus the 3R on the 2R, get 5R. This is how we accumulate the accounts. Not saying that every setup must able to 100% make it. There's no such thing as a system work that way. Win, lose, sure God. That's the whole idea. So thank you very much. This is all my 5 analysis on Monday to Friday, what I would wait for. And of course, market tends to change. Market will change accordingly to the sentiment that coming out. We will never know the real data. We will never know what's next. We will never know what will happen. Let's say next week on 20th, there'll be inauguration for Joe Biden. Will something happen there? Well, no one knows what's in the future. So when it comes to market analysis, we personally, I only relies on market structure for me to do for me to find areas of interest and wait there patiently for it to happen. If it doesn't happen, usually it doesn't happen. It will just continue only. So depending what I wanted to do that particular timing only, and what does the market structure allows me to do. So thank you very much. And this is my analysis for this 5 pair for the coming week. And let's cross our finger and may the pips be with us by next week and make some good profits from it. All right. Thank you very much. Bye.